If you've watched my channel long enough, then you know my most recommended knife sharpeners are, yes, TS Prof. And they have been for a long time. I even have a video on the top 5 best knife sharpeners with TS Prof as #1. That is why I accepted TS Prof as today's video sponsor. I truly believe in their products. Not only are their systems the highest quality made with the best materials, but the parts are machined and put together with the highest precision. It's like their systems are made by NASA or something. They have tons of parts for upgrades. They recently came out with their very own resin bonded diamond stones. Again, if you've watched my channel long enough, you know my favorite stones are bonded diamond or CBN stones. So if you want the best of the best, then you want TS Prof, linked down in the description. Today we're gonna go through 5 knives I absolutely would warn against. I would say just don't buy these, save your money and buy something else, and I will recommend something else instead. Starting it off is the Hogue Maisto. This one might come to surprise for you guys because I actually thought I liked it when I first got it, but the detent is so unbelievably light. Like, look at that. Like, it's unbelievably light. Like, it doesn't make sense, and it makes it feel so spongy that it almost feels cheap. It is titanium and magnet cut, and you know, I expect more from Hogue, to be honest. This is my model. Maybe the other ones aren't like that, but from the only one that I got to experience, and these are a limited edition, I personally would just say don't buy this one. Buy instead, which, like I said, man, Hogue does a good job. I don't want to say anything bad about Hogue. I think Hogue does a great job, but why not just get the Hogue Deca? You can get it in a very similar blade shape, very, very similar, or this blade shape, because it comes in 2 different blade shapes. And then if you want the titanium, just get some original goat scales. They're still USA made. This one has a way better detent, way better action, and it feels a lot better in the hand, and it just, you know, feels better overall. You can get it in magnet cut. They are doing a good job with their magnet cut. You could even talk about the Hogue Ritter, you know, and get some original goat scales. I have a 15% discount code for the original goat scales linked down in the description, but they're, you know, it allows you to basically build your own, and you can pick the design you want. You don't have to get this scale. You can get whatever pattern you want that they have, and they have a ton of different options. So that's what I would recommend over the Maisto. I'd say just go with the Deca, and most likely, if you're looking at the Maisto, you probably already have the Deca, but you know, you can always upgrade it to, you know, with the original goat scales. The next one, stay away from cheap gravity knives. My goodness, stay away from these. These are absolute garbage. In order for a company to make a quality gravity knife, it is going to cost a little bit more than $20, $30 in most cases. I know it seems like a simple build, but in order for the parts to line up correctly and flow nice and smoothly, the machining has to be done very well. This was like $20, $30. Look at the grind on this thing. It's just absolute garbage. This would be a nightmare to sharpen, and it's a no-name steel, so it's not like it even, I don't even know what steel it is. It could be 440 or something, I don't know, but I know it's absolute garbage. The entire thing is just trash. I would never recommend this. Now, what would I recommend? Well, I 100% think the EXO is the best gravity knife on the market. Much more expensive because you're talking about titanium with a premium steel. It comes in 3 different versions, a large, a medium, and a small. However, they recently came out with an aluminum version that has a utility blade that's replaceable for like 70 bucks. So it's not that much more, you know, double the price or maybe a little bit more than double. But there's also another model coming. If it's not out already, you know, you can check the links down in the description. I believe it's going to be a Blade HQ exclusive. I'm not sure if they're going to do other color options or whatever steel options with other companies, but I think it's Nitro V steel and aluminum handles, but the same like platform. That's going to be hot, like 120 bucks. So I would just say spend a little bit more, get the good quality, get the good machining, and don't settle for absolute garbage that you're not even going to be able to use. Now there is also Remet. And granted, these aren't cheap either. These ones are more expensive. It comes in a premium steel, couple different blade shapes, titanium handle, titanium pocket clip, different inlays. You can flip the blade to make it right or left-hand carry. And I do think the EXOs are a little bit better than than these Remetz, the Remetz Swordfish. But if you already have the EXO and you're looking for, and you like gravity knives and you're looking for another one, this is not one, this is one to check out because it is really good. I just think the EXO is a little bit more free-flowing, but yeah, if you like gravity knives, that's one to check out. Next, I want to bring this one up really quick. The Benchmade Narrows. Now, I don't have one, so it's not technically on the list, but the Benchmade Narrows, my goodness, the Benchmade Narrows is $522. And it's like a $350 knife. It makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. If you're going to spend that much money, just spend a little bit more and get the Archer. This is the Tactile Archer. Granted, it's going to be a little more difficult to get because it's one of their new models, but this feels like a $600 knife. It is such good quality. I freaking love this thing. And the one complaint I had on this thing, which was the sharp control and plunge grind, they've already fixed. They were quick on that. They already fixed it. Phenomenal detent, man. It's got beautiful micro machining on the handle that makes this feathering pattern, you know, because it's the Archer. And the machining, the build quality, the heat treatment, 63 to 64 HRC on the Magna Cut. Way, way, way better value than you're going to get from that Benchmade. That Benchmade, to me, it's such an easy build. I know it has somewhat of a more specialized crossbar lock. However, I've felt it. I've tried it. It is so, it's flat scales. It's literally just flat scales, no machining, you know, it's very, very thin. And that's what they're banking on, is how thin and slicey it is, which yes, it is. It's thin and slicey, but the handle is so thin that it's not something you're going to want to bear down on long term. But regardless, if you're looking for something like that, something very, very, very thin like that, just go for either the Quiet Carry Waypoint Large, which is very, very slim in the hand, very lightweight, very, very thin geometry. I'd say even better. And it actually feels really good in the hand. You can absolutely push it through materials. Or maybe the Spidey Chef, another knife, very slim in the hand. And both of these are going to be like half the price of the Narrows. So granted, these two are not USA made. They are made in Taiwan. But either way, if you really, really want it to be USA made, you could always go with something from Spyderco or any other USA company that Original Goat makes scales for. Go to Original Goat. You can get to your titanium scales or aluminum scales or whatever you want. And now you'll have a knife that's like $200 less probably than the Benchmade Narrows with similar materials. Possibly even better materials. You know, this one's Rex 45 with this gunner grip aluminum scales from Original Goat. I have a 15% discount code. I will link everything from this video down in the description. 15% discount code for Original Goat saves you a bunch of money on your purchase. So definitely use it if you're planning on getting some scales. Now, another one that's technically not really on the list, but I want to bring it up. The James brand, I think it's the Barnes, the one that's like 600 bucks. That thing is overpriced by at least $200. You could just go with, and granted, it is an integral. I understand it's a good looking knife too. Very attractive knife, integral. I like it a lot, but it's not worth $600+. This is the one and only by Tashi Baruka, made by We Knife Co. It is an integral. You can see, you don't see any hardware except for the clip screw. It's very, very good looking, very attractive, and it's still an integral, and you're going to get it for, you know, like half the price or something like that. Way better value here. And, you know, it's really good quality. They did a damn good job on this. And if integrals are not what you worry about, you're worried about more of the style of it, pretty much anything from We Knife Co. will be a better value than the Barnes. You can go with the We Nitro OG. You can go with the Equivic. You can go with the Sizit. Like, I can go on and on. They have a ton of phenomenal knives that you can get that are way better than, or way more better value than you're going to get from the James brand, with similar materials and build quality. And again, if you're going to spend that much, why not just go with a Tactile Archer, right? It's around the same price, but USA made and built extremely, extremely well. So the next one, Bear Ops. Bear Ops, oh my goodness. This company, I don't know what to say about them because I was under the impression they were USA made. They claim to be USA made. A lot of people tell me they're not USA made. They're made in China. Some people say their parts are made overseas and then they're brought here and assembled here. Regardless, I don't know. They say they're USA made. But either way, this is the best one I've tried from them. S30V, it is a hollow ground. It is a good blade shape. Steel scales with a steel liner lock, good detent, strong lockup, a deep carry clip that is reversible. However, there is like 500 knives I would recommend over this one for the same price. And then this one is just absolute garbage. Like it has no tension from the crossbar lock. So in order for you to flip it, you have to flick your wrist. It's very lightweight, very slim, but if you're looking for something that's affordable and USA made, because that's typically why people are buying these, because they claim to be USA made and they're very affordable. Go with, there's only one company. There's only one company I would say, and I know people are going to argue, what about Benchmade, or sorry, not Benchmade. What about Buck? Well, Buck kind of does the same thing. You know, granted, these feel like they're Chinese made, but there's some USA made Bucks that feel the same way. They're very rough around the edges. They don't feel like they're worth the money that they ask. But one company, Kershaw, does actually make high quality USA made knives for an affordable price. You can get the Kershaw Leak for like 50 bucks, something like that. It is assisted. This one's in 14C28M blade steel. There is a bunch of different options, but it's so much better as far as everything goes, from the lockup, tolerances, action, everything across the board. And if you want, you could go with something like the Bel Air, which is granted more money, but a great value knife. Aluminum scales, magna cut steel, great geometry, great ergonomics, and it's a manual knife. Now, I understand if you're picking up one of these, you're probably looking at under $100, and Kershaw has a ton of options. You got the Dividend, you got the Blur. The Blur just came out with a magna cut version for like, I don't know, 120 bucks or something like that. I forget exactly what it is, but the regular one is under $100. So the Kershaw has the best options when it comes to USA made and good quality. And also, if you're not worried about the USA made, they have a ton of other options. You know, this guy right here is really good. They have a smaller and a larger version of this one right here. Like I said, I will link everything down in the description. And then you can always go with their Launch Series. Kershaw's Launch Series, they're automatics, but I did not give their Launch Series enough credit. I absolutely did not give them as much credit as they deserve. Every single Launch Series model that I've tried is absolutely awesome. So if you like the way it looks and, you know, it's your style, go for it. Go for it. As long as you want to carry an auto, go for it. It is. They are rock solid lockup. Like even this one, I beat the hell out of this thing, and it is still like a damn vault. Nice strong spring. I can still close it one-handed. And this is just awesome. Magna cut steel, aluminum scales with the micarta inlays. There is a lot of other versions though. I don't even know how many they have now. They probably have like 20 different models that are in the Launch Series. But yeah, I would just point you that way if you're wanting affordable USA made. And if you're wanting affordable USA made under $100, just go with one of the assisted Kershaws. Next, zero tolerance 0450. I said this in another video the other day that I cannot recommend this knife anymore. I used to love it, but now that I've handled enough knives and I've tested enough knives, I know what a good knife is, and this is not. This is not a good knife. It just doesn't make sense. The geometry is way too thick for the ergonomics. The handle is not comfortable. It's very uncomfortable, actually. And it's such a small knife, but it has like fixed blade geometry. It is very thick geometry, so it doesn't cut well. So in order to push it through materials, it's just ridiculous. It's not enjoyable to use. It just doesn't make sense. So if you're looking for something compact like this that actually does make sense, you could check out the Tactile rock wall. The Tactile rock wall is right around the same size, except for it has much better geometry and much better ergonomics. So it's going to pass through materials much better. It is thumb stud action instead of a flipper tab, but it's still riding on bearings, titanium scales, titanium liner lock. And, you know, it, like I said, around the same size, just better. Magna cut steel, by the way. Now, if you're not worried about the USA made and you're looking for something that really, really makes sense, the quiet carry waypoint. My favorite one is the large one, which we'll talk about here in 1 second, but this one is very, very thin, very, very slicey. And it's just absolutely amazing. Again, like kind of like we were talking about with the Benchmade Narrows, if you're looking for something thin and slicey, you know, the quiet carry waypoint. This thing is, it makes so much more sense than the Narrows. I mean, this thing is very, very thin geometry, very thin handle. You can absolutely push it through materials much easier than a lot of models. Like it's such a slicey knife. So yeah, I would push it towards something like this or the Chef over the Narrows. But as far as for the zero tolerance, you know, you can go with the smaller waypoint, which absolutely will work out. Now, if it's USA made you want and flipping action you want on bearings, you also have American Blade Works. Granted, American Blade Works, they're not always readily available, but you can check. They do drop them every couple weeks, and then they typically are in stock for, you know, a few days. So they're still very easy to get. You just got to, you know, wait till they drop. But awesome action. This is one guy making these, so these are small batch or small company made. Unlike, you know, Zero Tolerance, which is a very big production company. Magna cut heat treated at 63 to 64 HRC, titanium scales. They do have other, or he does have other options as well, like other handle materials. And yeah, this is my favorite one from him, the Model 1. He did a bang up job on this. I freaking love this thing. The clip works great. The action's amazing. Everything about this knife I love. So that's what I would recommend well over this. You know, and it's not that much bigger, you know, maybe a little bit bigger, but it's still in a very reasonable size. And then last, anything from Gerber. Stay away from Gerber. Gerber probably hates me by now. I've never found a Gerber that was good. I've never had one that was good. They've always been absolute garbage, every single one of them. So, you know, they might have a couple good fixed blades out there, but I've never found a good folder. I've heard they have good good multi-tools. I've had a couple of them and they weren't good. So maybe they do have some out there, but as far as their folding pocket knives, just stay away from them. If you want, this is the best one I've ever tried, and it's not even a locking folder, it's a slip joint and it has a Scandi grind. But if you want a folding pocket knife that's very affordable, then just go to CJRB. You can get the Pyrite right here for 30 bucks right now. They're normally 40 bucks, but you can get it right now for 30 bucks. Phenomenal action. ARRPM9 steel, which is basically just a tougher version of 9CR. So, you know, it has a decent quality steel for the money, or good quality steel for the money, I should say. It's very slicey, it's very ergonomic, it's very fidget friendly, it's going to be a great pocket knife, and there's a ton of different flavors and options. If you want to spend a little bit more, you can get all the way up to titanium pyrites. And if you're just wanting to look for an affordable knife, like I said, Gerber, stay away from them. Look into CJRB, like this, Sencut knives, or something from KUBEY. There you go. You will find high quality knives for the money from those companies. They will give you affordable options that are really good quality and way, way, way better than what you're going to get from Gerber. Like I said, Gerbers, man, I've had blades snap. I've had them fail on me. I've had literally everything you could imagine happen with the Gerbers, and they seem like there's always something wrong with them, and they're not worth them. They're way overpriced. Like what you're going to get from like a CJRB, if you were going to get the same materials, they would probably charge you like 3 times the price. You know, even like some of their like, you know, just their basic 8CR and G10 in many cases is like 50, 60, 70 bucks. So like I said, there's so many other better options. But anyways, there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.